Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Previously, we completed the main game, and I said we will move on to Not a Hero next. But, hear me out. There was something that came to my mind I thought might be kind of interesting, and so I thought let's do a bonus episode to follow up on some stuff with Grandma Baker, aka Eveline. Throughout the game, there are several locations you probably noticed in the main playthrough where you can run into Grandma Baker, um, starting with the dinner table and, of course, ending with that final confrontation in the guest house. And there are 8 locations total, I believe, where you can run across her throughout the story. You might think of things like where you ran into her in the upstairs main hall after fighting Jack in the garage. You can find her in the main hallway coming off the processing area after defeating Jack in that area. You can find her in the boiler room of the processing area when Lucas kind of sends you back into the house much later in the game. And you can find her in the master bedroom after, I think, either after encountering the four-legged molded or after getting the serpent key. I don't quite remember. Um, those are just a few to kind of give an example. And there are 2 locations in particular that I never saw myself before this. I knew they existed, and I didn't quite know how to trigger them. So I did a little bit of research on to try and figure them out, and I had to do a little playthrough myself. In fact, we are not even on the PS5 version right now. We're on the PS4 version because I did not have the right save files for them, and it was just easier to get to those points here on this version. And I thought they would be kind of worth sharing for those who might be interested. So, with that being said, let's jump in and I will kind of explain what you need to do to get to these points to unlock these things if you have not seen them already. All right. So the first of the 2 locations we are looking for is the what's it called? It's Grandma's room. Derp. Sorry. So we're going up to the kind of rec room area, and this location is all the locations are very specific. This location is specific to you have to have encountered Jack in the upstairs bathroom, which I did, which is why you could hear him outside just a second ago. And you have to not get the scorpion key because once you do that, she moves. So we're going to grandma's room here. Jack is after me and he's going to attack me out in the hallway. So I thought I would actually showcase um, this little baby here. This is one of the unlockables, and it just shreds enemies. And I think you have to complete the game in a speedrun for that one. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's how I got it when I did this originally. I was also going to show what happens if you don't get to the car in time and Jack beats you to it, which is why I have car keys if you're wondering. Because I had to replay up to this point. I think I was in the guest house still when I pulled into the save file originally. But you're going to get to see me use this on Jack most likely here. So let's head up to the rec room upstairs and we'll see this.
You wasted your time.
Yeah, he just drops like that. That just tanks him. Tell me that's not amazing. Okay, this first one's not too crazy or anything, but it's very easy to miss. Like I said the very first one you'll see, other than encountering her in the kitchen dining room, is like right here. But she moves when Jack spawns, and she specifically moves to her own bedroom. Well, technically it's Grandma Baker's bedroom, not Eveline's bedroom, because there we are. We have Eveline. Um, so I was actually doing a little bit of thinking on Grandma Baker too. I was like, why would they have a spot marked in the house for the grandma if the grandma never existed? And I was doing a little bit of reading online, and I was like, oh wait, grandma probably did exist. Somebody brought up the name Remy Baker, and I thought maybe that's the grandma. And if you go to the testing area, specifically in the room with the cake, I dozed off there, he said. The area with the cake, there was a picture of the family in it where you have to use the little scope. And there was an old woman there, and I don't think it was Eveline. I think it was the actual Grandma Baker. So kind of interesting. So there she is. This is actually your third time you can find her beyond the dining scene, the dining table scene with the family, and running into her in the on the second floor of the main hallway. So one in, 1 out of 2. I'm going to reload into my other save file. Okay, so this is the second location, the one that I think most people probably end up missing because it's been the trickiest one for me to figure out the timing on, and some of the information online has been a bit misleading. And I'm not sure if it's misleading because it's randomized or because people just haven't figured it out. So right now we are loaded up at the part where Lucas sends us back into the house to get the key cards. As far as I know, and this worked for me, you have to do this between getting the call from him in the trailer and picking up, or not, the call in the trailer. And I think if you go down to the processing area right away, she moves. I think that's how that works. So, because I loaded up basically right after the trailers part. So he told me to come into the house, and so I think that's the location if I'm getting that right. I've heard some people say that you can get this to work as long as you haven't completed his little funhouse area, and I've tried that and it never worked for me. So if that's randomized, I don't know, but I'm not going to tell you where it is because this is messed up. So I'm just going to show you. Most people don't know this exists. So this is under the floor where we first got chased. When that first time you run into Jack in the house, and you have to get under the floorboards. There she is. She is under the floorboards, under the kitchen. Why, I do not know. I don't know why she's here. I don't know why she's here. I don't know how she got here, but she's down here, and I thought this was really interesting. The only reason I knew this existed is because I was watching Fightin' Cowboy play this years ago, and he said he was just searching the house for supplies, and he just came across this. He wasn't even going to show it. He just like comes down here. He's just like WTF, and I was like, oh my god, that exists. And this is the one I've got the most misleading information on because I've come in here like 100 times and I couldn't get it to spawn until I tried doing it right after you get access to the key in the basement before going down there. I think she moves while you go down towards the processing room. I think that's how this works. Unless there's some item you need to get that I'm forgetting. But anyways, here we are. You get to see Grandma Baker and / Eveline in 2 different spots that I have not seen in my playthrough ever. So until I reloaded to make sure this would work, because I was like, I don't want to waste my time on this if it doesn't work for all of you, because I want y'all to see this. So there you go. And that is where we are going to end this episode. So like I said, very, very short. I just thought that was really interesting. The under the floorboards part, especially. So next time we are going to be jumping into Not a Hero. So thank you all for joining, and I will see you all later.